Happy Thyroid Thursday, YouTube. I'm so happy to let you know that starting every Thursday, I'll be posting a video just specifically about thyroid, being without a thyroid, thyroidectomies, thyroid disorders, thyroid cancer, and all of the above. So I'm really excited. I know I've been posting a lot lately, but it's just really to make up for the fact that I haven't posted in a long time. Until recently. So today I'm going to be telling you about the good and the bad things that are associated with not having a thyroid. So in case you're new, my name is Brittany, and on October 25th of 2018, I had a total thyroidectomy to remove my entire thyroid. I then also 6 months later had a radical neck dissection to remove some cancerous lymph nodes. Of course, my thyroidectomy was due to thyroid cancer, but you didn't click on this video to learn what it was like to lose 60 lymph nodes. You clicked on this video to know what it's like to lose a thyroid or to not have one. So there are definitely some ups and downs. I've compared my data to a lot of other people's, and for the most part, I've had it pretty easy. I will not say that everything is a complete walk in the park, but I definitely want you to be aware that it's probably not as bad as what you're expecting. Just gonna let you know, first and foremost, probably the negative things that come with not having a thyroid, and then the positives. So we're gonna get right into it. The first thing I noticed when I had my total thyroidectomy, after I was done healing from surgery, was I did notice a little bit of oily skin and acne. My hair and face and skin is usually more on the dry side, but I noticed pretty much, like, I'd say the first month of not having a thyroid, that I did have actually probably more oily skin than ever, but it did go away. It was very, very brief. I don't know if my hormones were just trying to figure out how to be normal again when the thyroid wasn't there anymore, but I did have a couple of pimples, and my hair was just a little bit more oily, so I noticed I had to wash it. But after that, my skin actually got more clear. I was having some acne before I had my thyroid removed and before I had gotten diagnosed with thyroid cancer. So after it was removed, that actually really improved. But I'm going to talk about the negative things first. So every once in a while, I will actually have a headache, and I have noticed that being hypothyroid, even though I'm typically honestly really not hypothyroid anymore at all, because I'm on a high dose of levothyroxine and liothyronine as well, I do get headaches, and to my knowledge that's mostly because of T3. There are T3 and T4 hormones in your thyroid, and the thyroid controls those hormones, and T4 and T3 are very different. So levothyroxine actually controls more of the T4, whereas the liothyronine controls the T3. And every now and then I'll get my dose of liothyronine, which is the T3 adjusted, usually brought down, because there can be some side effects using that drug long term, but it's actually really important, so I have to be on it for the time being. So I don't know if that's the reason, but I have noticed that I do get more headaches than I used to. It's not awful. I don't get migraines. I'd say I might have one migraine a year, but I do find that I have headaches more often than I did before I had my thyroid removed. The next thing I want to mention is alcohol. I was never a big drinker before, but I will tell you, there's really no desire in my heart to have a glass of alcohol. Every time I do drink, especially white wine, I get really super sick. It used to be my favorite, and there will be every once in a while where I can have a glass and it doesn't affect me, but for the most part, even just having one glass of wine is just vomiting. I can't even handle it at all. The next one that is highly recommended and asked about is your weight. My thyroid levels before I had my thyroid removed were normal. They were still in the normal range, but I did notice quite a bit of weight gain before I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer, and I was actually concerned about gaining weight before I had my thyroid removed, because a lot of people who have their thyroid removed tend to complain about weight gain or unwanted weight gain. For me, it was the exact opposite. A lot of people blame that on levothyroxine, which can tend to make you lose weight, but I actually lost the weight that I had gained pre-thyroidectomy before I started taking levothyroxine. If you're a thyroid patient, this might make sense to you. If not, you'll know about it very soon if you are having a thyroidectomy. So when you get on your levothyroxine or your Synthroid, that is what balances out your thyroid hormones to replace them. And when losing your thyroid, a lot of people sometimes do talk about how their weight fluctuates, and mine has fluctuated, I would say mostly about 6 to 8 pounds, but I certainly haven't gained any weight. In fact, my weight's mostly gone back to normal since having my thyroid removed. I'm gonna stand up and I'm actually gonna show you kind of what my body looks like. Not gonna stand, I guess, but you can see that I'm pretty curvy, but I'm not overweight. And I don't want people to think that when they have their thyroid removed, they're definitely going to gain weight. The only thing that I want to complain about where weight is concerned is that sometimes it does fluctuate, especially if I eat very sodium heavy foods. My weight can go like up 5 pounds in a couple of days, so you do have to monitor that. The only thing else that's really a negative thing that I want to bring up, temperature sensitivity. I am freezing. So I will also say that that also goes hand in hand with being warm. If it's really hot, I'm gonna be really hot. If it's just a little bit cold, I'm gonna be absolutely freezing. I have to use an electric blanket, and I will often just get chills out of nowhere. It's very frustrating, and I cannot tell you enough how much that it is, and you know this is my favorite term, swept under the rug, how much temperature sensitivity tends to happen when you do not have a thyroid anymore. It's no joke. You're either cold or you're hot. It's very, very rare where you're actually like comfortable, so I would recommend wearing layers so that you can take them off and put them on if needed. So there is one final thing that is definitely a negative, and that goes more if you are a thyroid cancer patient. That's typically likely more of a thing for the people like me who actually lost their thyroid or more lymph nodes due to cancer, and that's just complete total anxiety. I have gotten a lot better in the past couple of months, even though my situation has actually gotten more scary. My anxiety has been absolutely horrible. I'm always worried that my cancer is gonna come back. You know, I'm getting married this year, and I'm like, oh my God, what if I have to have another surgery or treatment more than once before that happens? And it's a really scary thing. There are a lot of people who have vocal cord paralysis or different nerve paralysis due to a thyroid surgery, or, you know, when they're cutting this area open, it's very scary. My voice has had some issues, but more or less the anxiety is probably the hardest thing, and it doesn't happen to everyone. It just tends to really mostly affect, not always, because your hormones are a wreck, so sometimes you might be more anxious or angry or emotional than usual, and that's definitely a fact that you have to consider. But more so if you are a thyroid cancer patient, you're gonna have that anxiety. And I don't really know for sure if it'll ever go away. It's been, you know, coming up on the 2-year mark where, you know, since I've had my first treatment and surgery, and it's definitely weighing on me still. So I just wanted to be real and open with that. So now talking about the positives. even though weight fluctuation is definitely something that you have to be careful, I would say that having my thyroid out and being on levothyroxine and liothyronine and the 2 pills that I take for my thyroid replacement actually levels out my size, my weight, whatever. I actually feel like if I ate less chocolate and bread and some other things and probably worked out more, I would be in a lot better shape. So that's honestly my fault. I would say, you know, if you were slightly overweight before you have your thyroid removed, you might lose a little bit of weight or you might gain a little bit of weight. I can't say 100% that it's not going to happen, but over time, when your meds get normalized, if you have a really great doctor like I do, they do think about your quality of life, and you know, being comfortable in your own skin is definitely something that's really important. And so for me, having no thyroid now, my weight is actually a lot more stable and I don't worry about it as much. And also too, I want to say, if you're like me, your hair and your skin might get a lot better. I was having a lot of hormonal acne around my chin before having my thyroid removed, and now I hardly get a breakout. I don't have to wash my hair every day or every other day. It's typically a situation where, you know, I just feel like my best self. Other than the pain and things that I experience on a daily basis, which is completely unrelated to having a thyroidectomy, I won't say completely unrelated, but mostly probably completely unrelated. I feel great. And I felt a lot better, and I want people to be aware that yes, there are some horror stories out there in the universe and on YouTube that only focus on the negative things about having a thyroidectomy, and that's not always the case. I really wish that there were more videos from people like me, men and women both, and I know that there are because I've made some really cool friends online. Shout out to Jessie and Toog and all of you guys if you're watching this video. Thank you for making it easier for me and for making me not so afraid. I know that you guys and a lot of you all out there who are watching this video now are probably really freaked the crap out about having a thyroidectomy, and it's really not that bad. With every surgery, there's always risks, there's always things to consider. But if you are just really open with your surgeon and with your doctors, they will take really good care of you. And if they don't, find another. You're certainly not alone. There's so many of us out there who care for you and want to help, and just know that it's okay. You are definitely part of a huge community full of love, and I wish you the absolute best. Thank you guys for listening, and I will be talking to you again very soon. Good night.